Are you watching closely? This simple question is the key to unlocking one of the most brilliant and devastating cinematic puzzles ever created. Christopher Nolan's The Prestige. For years, this film has captivated audiences with its story of two rival magicians, Alfred Borden and Robert Angier, locked in a deadly game of one-upmanship. But the true genius of The Prestige isn't just in its magic tricks. It's in the secrets hidden in plain sight, the sacrifices that defy imagination, and the two earth-shattering twists that reframe everything you thought you knew. Today, we are going to dissect these twists, explore the dark themes of obsession and identity they represent, and reveal why this film is so much more than a story about magic. This isn't just a movie analysis, it's an autopsy of an illusion. So, let's begin the show. To truly understand the twists, we first need to appreciate the rivalry that fuels them. It all starts with a tragic accident. During a water escape trick, Robert Angier's wife, Julia, drowns because Alfred Borden tied a different, more complex knot than usual. Angier is convinced Borden did it intentionally, and this single event ignites a fire of vengeance that consumes both men. Their careers become a relentless battle to create the better illusion and, more importantly, to destroy the other man's life and reputation. They sabotage each other's shows, inflict physical harm, and steal each other's secrets. This isn't friendly competition. It's a war fought on stage and in the shadows, where the lines between performance and reality blur completely. Every action is a move in their personal chess game, pushing them further down a path of obsession from which there is no return. The central mystery that drives Angier to the brink is Borden's masterpiece, the transported man. On stage, Borden enters a cabinet on one side, and in the blink of an eye, he emerges from another cabinet across the stage. It's instantaneous. It seems impossible. Angier becomes obsessed with figuring it out. He tries everything. He hires a body double, a drunken lookalike named Gerald Root, to replicate the effect. But it's not the same. The double can't share the beau, the final moment of glory. For Angier, the performer, the applause is everything. His version is a good trick, but it's not real magic, and it lacks the seamless perfection of Borden's illusion. This failure eats away at him, convincing him that Borden must be using some technology, some secret beyond simple misdirection. He cannot accept that Borden is simply a better magician. His obsession leads him to believe there has to be a machine, a scientific marvel, that makes the impossible possible. And this belief will lead him to America, to the enigmatic inventor Nikola Tesla, in a desperate search for his own miracle. And this brings us to the first major twist, the secret behind Alfred Borden's transported man. Throughout the film, we see Borden as a man of contradictions. Sometimes he loves his wife Sarah, other times he seems cold and distant, confessing his love for his assistant, Olivia. He's unpredictable, almost like two different people. And that's because he is. The shocking truth is that Alfred Borden is not one man, but two identical twin brothers. From a young age, they decided to live a single life, sharing everything: the identity of Alfred Borden, their career as a magician, and even their personal relationships. One twin loved Sarah, and the other loved Olivia. This is why his behavior was so erratic and confusing. This is the secret to his impossible trick. There is no teleportation. One twin enters the cabinet, drops through a trapdoor, while the other, hidden beneath the stage, emerges from the second cabinet. It is a perfect illusion built on the ultimate sacrifice, the complete erasure of an individual identity. They each lived only half a life so that together, they could be a master magician. The clues were there all along. Fallon, Borden's quiet engineer, was always present. When one twin loses two fingers in a bullet catch trick gone wrong, the other must make the same horrifying sacrifice to maintain the illusion. Their commitment is absolute, and it's this devotion to their craft that Angier could never comprehend. Now for the second, and arguably more horrifying, twist. Convinced Borden is using a machine, Angier travels to Colorado Springs to meet Nikola Tesla. He commissions Tesla to build him a teleportation device. At first, the machine seems to be a failure. It doesn't transport objects. Instead, it creates a perfect duplicate of them a short distance away. An apple in, and two apples appear. Angier is initially furious, believing Tesla has scammed him. But then, the horrifying potential dawns on him. He realizes he can use this machine on himself. This is the secret to his new, spectacular version of the transported man. Every single night, Angier steps into the machine on stage. A clone, a perfect duplicate of himself, is created in the balcony. This duplicate takes the bow, soaking in the applause. But what happens to the original Angier? The man who steps into the machine. In a moment of pure cinematic horror, we see a trapdoor open beneath him, and he plummets into a water tank, locked and hidden beneath the stage. Every night, Robert Angier drowns himself, unsure if he will be the man in the tank or the man on the balcony, the prestige. He creates and murders a version of himself for every single performance. His obsession with beating Borden has led him to commit the ultimate act of self-destruction, over and over again. Let's compare these two secrets, because their differences reveal everything about the two men. Borden's secret is built on sacrifice and lifelong commitment. The twins give up their individual identities, their chance at a normal life, and endure immense personal pain, all for their art. It's a secret rooted in human devotion and a shared passion. They share the pain and the glory. It's a partnership. Angier's secret, on the other hand, is a monstrous shortcut. Instead of dedicating his life to his craft, he uses technology to create a hollow victory. He doesn't want a partner. He wants to be the one, the only one, getting the applause. His solution is solitary, scientific, and soulless. It involves no shared sacrifice, only repeated self-annihilation. Borden's trick is clever, a brilliant piece of stagecraft elevated by an unbelievable personal sacrifice. Angier's trick is not a trick at all. It's real science, real creation, and real death, night after night. He isn't performing magic. He's performing a scientific demonstration with a human cost that is too terrible to imagine. This is the core difference. Borden's magic is about what it means to be human, while Angier's is about what happens when humanity is abandoned for obsession. The final confrontation brings everything to a devastating conclusion. Borden, framed for Angier's murder, the drowning of that night's clone, is sentenced to hang. Before his execution, he is visited by a man he thinks is a lord, but it's Angier, alive and well. Angier reveals his secret of the cloning machine and the rows of drowned Angiers in their glass tanks, a museum of his obsession. He has finally won. He has destroyed Borden. But his victory is empty. Later, the surviving Borden twin, who had been living as the engineer Fallon, finds Angier. In their final confrontation, he shoots Angier. As Angier lies dying, he finally sees the truth. He looks at this man and asks, "Brother?" And the twin replies, "No, we were brothers." He explains their lifelong sacrifice, the price they paid for their art. Angier, in his final moments, understands. He looks at his own collection of corpses and realizes the terrible cost of his own victory. He admits the courage it took for the Borden twins to do what they did was far greater than his own. The film ends with the surviving twin reunited with his daughter, having paid the ultimate price, while Angier lies dead amongst the evidence of his monstrous obsession. There are no winners here, only survivors. So what is the Prestige really about? On the surface, it's about magic. But deep down, it's a profound exploration of obsession, sacrifice, and the nature of identity. Nolan uses the world of illusionists to ask us a fundamental question. How far would you go for your passion? What would you sacrifice? The Borden twins sacrificed their individuality. They lived half a life each, a sacrifice born of love for their art and for each other. Angier sacrificed his humanity. He murdered himself every night, a sacrifice born of hatred and envy. The film brilliantly shows us that the greatest illusions are not those performed on a stage, but the ones we tell ourselves. Angier believed he needed a machine to be a great magician, but his real downfall was his inability to accept that true magic comes from dedication, not deception. In the end, The Prestige is a tragedy. It's a cautionary tale that reminds us that the pursuit of perfection, when fueled by obsession, can lead not to glory, but to a dark and lonely place, filled with glass tanks of our former selves. It reminds us that the real magic is in the sacrifice, not the trick. Thanks so much for watching. If you love deep dives into complex films like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. What did you think of the twists in The Prestige? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.